All right, guys, let's go ahead and get started. So this is Elliott Wave Sage. Like always, none of this is financial advice. Always do what's best for you. Just use this for your education and entertainment purposes. I'll just kind of recap the market real quick. There's not much to really talk about compared to what I put out yesterday. I think the big event, as everyone knows, is Nvidia's earnings will come out tomorrow after close, which is going to really set the tone for the next several weeks of trading. When I look at the indices right now, like the SPY, it seems like to me we need this like fifth wave here, this little pop here in 5. This looks like some kind of four wave triangle here, and then this cycle should end and then get a pretty big pullback. So I just wonder if Nvidia earnings, what we'll get is an initial like euphoric reaction and then it gives it all back. Something like that, where both sides of the market don't really get what they want, but the move is very volatile. That's what I see. And then the triple Qs here, we have 3 waves down. You could say it's still a 4 as long as this low holds at 471.52, but if we break that low, this could easily be a 1-2-1-2, and we could essentially have a crash wave in the technology sector. Now, if this is 4, we want to make a 5. So again, is Nvidia earnings telling us we're going to get really bullish, and then a rug pull as we make this 4-5, peak in 5, and then pull back. So that's a possibility. But as you can see, technology did not show us any indication of where it wants to go. And even in the after hours, it's kind of frozen. And I do think the first sign that it could be breaking down would be breaking this low here, or after hours, breaking this low, if it can happen. IWM may have ended the A wave. Again, we could still push up in 5. We have to wait and see. Again, we only have 3. Maybe I could put that as 5, so perhaps the A is in. We'll have to wait and see. So again, we have maybe another high, possibly in the Dow Jones, and then it should peak. So we have like a little more upside, I think, in the market, and then a pretty big sell-off coming. Okay, that's kind of what I'm seeing in the market. The VIX also shows that little upside may be possible. Go to the VIX today. So the VIX tried to break out. We mentioned that it was on breakout watch in the morning. It really did try to sell off hard here. So we had this buy here, and then we tried to come out this morning on the VIX and just couldn't get it going. And it got rejected, so it just formed a connector. We broke the pivot, and so now it's got to go lower to retest this low at 1449. Now we could still also be in the connector still, just to give you an idea, so just be careful. But even if we're in this connector still, this would fail and go lower. So the VIX is telling you there's probably more upside coming in the market. This seems too shallow, so just get ready. And this has to continue and finish its sequence. Bitcoin dropped, and that's actually a good sign because it's kind of validating our idea in crypto, why it wasn't a good idea to FOMO in. Just a 3-wave move. We broke this yesterday on our live stream. I warned about this setup, and now we have a convincing 4-hour cycle break. And then on the daily cycle as well, a break. So we could be in a new downtrend in market. Bitcoin will now be bearish as long as it's below this trend line. So we have on trend line that as long as we're below that trend line, more downside should continue below 65.1. No matter how exciting any relief rally may become. So this could take time to get down to the area. Now ETH is also showing that it started its journey down in 5, looking for 1800, and then that could be a possible low, but with a flat that's really tricky to target the low. It could go even deeper. So, but I'm just giving you an idea when this correction could finish. We'll have to wait and see. Oil actually started to turn lower today. So this is a major pivot. As long as this holds, we're looking for more downside in oil and energy. Silver, it's trying to finish this fifth wave up. Looks like you have 1, 2, 3, 4. Looks like you have 5 is either finished here, or it's 2 of 5. 2 of 5, and we get 3, 4, 5, and we can come up a little higher. Gold is showing perhaps we need more upside in 5. Tried to just tweak the label a little bit, just to show how we broke this high here and a flat. So it does look like gold. So gold and silver could still push higher before this reversal. The dollar index still should be grinding lower in a series of 4s and 5s before a bigger counter trend rally. And the interest rate looks like we took that out, so now we're in this 2, but as you can see, this 2 is a higher degree here than this one, so we have to be really careful trading it, because now we only have 3 waves. There is a possibility that we're actually still in a 4 wave or something different here. So if you look at the bond market, we only have 3 down, and we have this 1, 2, 1, 2. And looking at the RSI, as long as this peak is below that peak, even though it looks more complex, I'll actually go back and label it as a 1, 2, 1, 2 still. So I'll still keep this labeling because the RSI peak did not get taken out. And we'll leave it this way for now. Okay. So here we go. Nvidia earnings. We have a lot of action coming. At least that's what everyone expects. Looking at the market, it's going to be choppy, guys. It's not going to be just a V. It's not going to, I think it won't do what people think. It's just going to moon or it's just going to crash. I think it's going to be very volatile, where both sides may get what they want and then they don't sell fast enough and then they end up losing everything. So I think it could be very erratic, like up, bam. That's what I think we may see on Nvidia's earnings. Surge, and then, oh shit, maybe it wasn't as good as we thought, or the conference call was a bust. Boom. Something like that. That's what I think. That's what I'm seeing. All right, guys. So just a real quick update. So I'm in the process of moving. And so my last live stream before my computer goes in a box here will be on looks like Friday, and then I will not be able to live stream again until the following Monday. So but I will be active on Twitter. So if I need to push out information, you're going to need to go to Twitter. If you're like, oh, I don't mess with Twitter, screw Twitter, I don't do that, you're missing out on a lot of trade ideas I'd love to push out on Twitter. So I will be very active on Twitter next week. So I think my live streams will come back on September 9th. So you'll have to just make do. So if you've got a burning question, you'll want to get that out to me before I wrap up on Friday. And then I will push out my info and updates on Twitter as I can. So here we are. Let's go to your question, Dylan. So let's go to some of your questions here. PLL. Let's take a look at what we've got here. PLL is one that we don't like the setup anymore. The setup was lost. And I mentioned to watch out for this tricky wave too. It looks like here that is what we got, but it probably is finished now. So I would be expecting more downside coming. PALL. Palladium. So we haven't looked at this in a while. So it is sitting in our buy area. You know, the ultimate target is at $70 here. It's grinding lower in like some kind of ending diagonal move here. Let's see what we have going on. See, I labeled this as a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here, and then a 3-wave move, a 3-wave connector, and then we need 3 waves down here. So we'll just label that and just kind of get an idea and see if we can kind of count our sequences lower and perhaps figure out where this is. So right away you could see there's your connector wave. So, but you broke that low. So you see this would have been the perfect bottom, but then we broke the low. So, you know, that's unfortunate that that happened. And then if you look, it really reset the whole cycle. You know, looking at that, as you could see, you have 3 waves and you reset the cycle. So this is a connector for this whole move. But this is unlikely to just drop like that. So what I think we're going to get is something tricky, something like this is probably what we're going to see, and then this will fail later again. So I think we're this B wave, and we want to take this RSI out. So I think there is still more downside coming here, and then a big pump, that will eventually fail. Probably not going back to all-time highs. So we could even see $64 potentially. So I do think this looks like it's trying to grind lower, and it needs one more push down to erase that divergence, at least on this peak. It doesn't have to take this one out, but it definitely needs to take this out. And then we should see a pump. But looking at it, you know, watching this play out, I think we'll get this pump, but this is going to fail and take another swing, another dive lower later in the decade. This looks like an inflationary surge. It's going to happen, which we kind of all seeing come together, but that surge will eventually probably extinguish itself because, you know, that's what inflation tends to do. It destroys demand to the point where then no one needs the commodity anymore, and then it goes essentially wipes itself out. So let's see, guys. SPGI, S&P Global. Looks like we're close to the peak here. And let's take a look at how we're labeling it real quick. 1, 2, 3, 3. And then let's just kind of take another look at this count. So, you know, I don't really see a 1, 2. Maybe that's a 1, 2 here, but then that would be the shortest wave. So this wave here looks like, let's take a look here. Yeah, you see, this would have been the perfect end, but by taking this out, I think we've negated the flat correction. I think the flat is negated. So we'll have to put the 2 here just by default because it's now impulsive. And that is negated, but that would also mean there's a big pullback, but this is probably near 5 waves or wave 3 here. So something like that, and then I would think you'll get a really big pullback. Now there's a chance that it also pulls back deep here. It's obviously it's in a wave 5. So it could easily come back and pull all the way back down to 387 and out. We just don't know the nature of it. It does look like a 3 top. And so that would get us to the 618, typically. which is 432. So good luck on that. I think it's a buyable dip at 432. It 3 waves. All right, SQQ, very tempting. Every time I try to, we want to dabble in that, it backfires. It's almost like the market makers know as soon as you buy it, it just tends to just sell off. So it's very frustrating. But one day that's going to change. Believe it or not, one day the SQQ will be probably as popular as the TQQ and probably well into the double, even triple digits at some point. But that day is not now, but let's take a look. So the SQQ was one. We had traded it pretty well here. Short it, bought it, pumped. This was a dream pump. And now this was the buy area and we kind of went through it. But, that it was pretty well over, it was pushed down. So bottom line is 773 is very important. It's got to hold this, right? Because if it can't hold that, then this is 5 waves down. And that means the corrective structure is over. There's no Y, right? And I'm not telling you what you already don't know, right? This would be 5 waves. You'll get a rally again, but then it's going to go and it'll be breaking this low, and then technology is going to go higher. And what that means for the Qs is an extended 5th wave, right? Because if this is a 5, we'll pull back like that. This would be buyable as a long entry. Oh my God, I said you can buy tech again. And then you'll play another wave out. And then 5 just extends. Simple as that. So that's what's at stake for the bears. The bears always seem to blow it though, right? When if they ever follow through with any selling? They just can't. They just aren't able to generate any selling pressure in the market. So that's why I would be careful that you don't get the little pop up tomorrow. Nvidia's earnings is, oh, it's awesome, and then, oh shit, maybe it wasn't so awesome, and then you sell off. So I think that's like what my sense is. But is the bear case alive? Yes, the bear case is alive in tech because we're well off the all-time high and this high. So the bears are taking control of tech slowly, but tomorrow is an important day for the bears. They have to get that follow through, and if they do, well, then the SQQ is where you want to be. That is the trade you want to be in. You want to be in that trade. If you think the market's going to sell off and technology is ready to drop, SQQ will be printing some money. We'll be printing some money for you in the next 2 weeks. If you believe that, because then the SQQ should be targeting $13, $14 from 8. Nice. But hey, it's not. When has it ever worked? The bears always blow it. So why would it work this time? And again, look, you even have an inverse head and shoulders that would complete. It may even go higher than 14. What do you know? So this could be the entry of a lifetime in SQQ with a stop loss at 774. Right here, right now. Very low risk, pretty high reward. So could this be your first trade on Monday? I'm not sorry, Monday, on tomorrow, on Wednesday. Yeah, maybe your first trade. So that's the SQQ. That's my thoughts on it. But it's kind of like at a do or die. And look, we don't have 5. We only have 3. So the market has not shown its hand. We don't know. All right, let's keep going with our super chats as I get more people on. No, I don't think the SPY is going down there, because now the technology, if you want to short something, the technology is still alive and well short opportunity, just like I just explained it. But the SPY, this pattern looks like a wave 4. It looks like a wave 4 to me. And once you make a 5th wave, then it's just gonna do this. But I want to be clear. If this wave 5 breaks the all-time high, all this shit may not happen. It may just end here at a catastrophe, and yet 490, it'll go lower than it will go way lower than 490. I'm just saying. Now, if we can't break the all-time high, then this pattern is absolutely in play. Now, even if we break it, you could still do this. So that's why I don't like messing with this indice. Just watch it. You don't have to trade this. There's no setup. You want to trade something, trade technology. This is a good one. Short it, close it out if it goes above 486.5, and let the market decide. There's your risk. There's your reward. It's right in front of your face. So SPY is like gambling because you could break this high, not get the extension, complete wave 5 of the whole grand super cycle, and then a catastrophe. And yeah, 490 will be like, yeah, maybe we would bounce at 490, but if we go lower, we wouldn't be buying the indices anymore for a long time, potentially. That's what's at stake. But right now I'm showing this extension because I look at some of the other things going on. I think this seems like the most likely path. Ultimately, our target was in 610, right? But I'm just showing you with the SPY, there's no guarantee. And if you're trying to like figure it out, there's so many other things to trade that are clearer than this. But this, I think, is going to go higher, guys. I think it's going to pop higher and then fail. And then fail. But I don't know what it's going to do. Is it going to fail at the grand super cycle level or just this smaller degree to finish the 5 out over the next couple months? We just don't know. Okay, let's go back to Sava. Let's see how that's doing today. So Sava hit our buy area, and it's bouncing with a good RSI reset. So it's either two things. This is kind of almost like GME's chart. Like, it's got to hold this low at 28.17. If it doesn't do that, then it's probably going to form some bullish divergence, and it's going to be impulsive, and that means the 2 is going to play out a lot longer. Then this is negated. So it's either finished here, or we'll make another low, and it will finish an ABC correction, something like this, and then be correcting for weeks in this too. So it's got to hold that low. If it does, it's going to launch. It's going to launch. So we just don't know. You have 1, 2, 3 connector, 1, 2, 3. So it's got to hold that low. If it doesn't, it will make an impulse down in like a 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, 4, 3, 4, 4, 5, 4, 5, and then bounce, and then fail again. That's what will happen. So that's the setup. So the setup is there. All right, good luck on that. All right, let's go to some of these here. Let's see here. NAMSIS. CTZ on the venture. I don't know. There's CTZ. I guess this one. Very not a lot of chart data here. Well, it's kind of a liquid, but we'll try to do our best. TSXV. Okay, let me see if I got that right. Okay, I did. Okay. So 5 up off that low. And then we pulled back in some kind of bottom here. Massive divergence. So more than likely, whatever this is, it will fail at some point. It looks like it's trying to come off the low here. So it needs to finish an impulse off the low. And it could have finished here, but it extended. So it's going to extend higher, it looks like. In a 1-2, 1-2. Let's see here. Let's just go ahead and kind of label this. Yeah, I think that's how I would label it. So it could be finished here. But if we could break this high at 116, it's going to extend and probably come back to retest that high. But whatever happens, it's probably going to fail and go all the way back down. So if it can't make this high, it's susceptible for a major drop, a major sell-off. So it's very dangerous long here until you can get confirmation of the break. Now, you look at this, it looks like only 3 waves. So there's probably a chance for the extension. There's probably a chance for the extension. So I'll just leave it like that. But more than likely, whenever this ends, you're going to get something just like this happen again. Okay, XBI. It tends to move kind of, because it's got a lot of the mid-cap, like I think some of the smaller cap biotech. So let's see here, like the Russell. So I put the bottom here in 2, and then we have this like 1-2, 1-2 setup. So let's see here, something like this. So that's what I'll be looking for. Not sure why it's bullish. Let's take a look. So let's be more conservative. Okay, so that's the aggressive view, but we need to be more conservative. It could be a 3, 4, and 5, and just gets like one more high, and we're moving in like a lead-in diagonal off the low. ABC, ABC, ABC. So one more little pump higher, maybe to 114, and then you see a big pullback with the rest of the market like we expect, all the way back down to 73. If we can make this high and break this and get a pullback, this would be a really good buy opportunity for long-term investment in this sector. All right, but that's the conservative like look. The aggressive is 1-2, 1-2, and it's about to launch. But I think that contradicts the market forecast, so we should just kind of go with this view. All right, ENGH. ENGH. So this made a nice 3-wave pullback and found support. So that's your wave 3. There's your wave 5. You lost your whole wave 5. So it makes technical sense to me what I'm seeing here. Big extended 5th. You lost all of the 5th. But we do have a problem brewing with the way it's rebounded. So this area typically produces a bounce here. And you are getting that, but you're getting it as a triangle. So this is usually continuation lower for another swing down. So I would be looking for more downside, another swing lower in a double correction. That's what it looks like to me. Something like that. If it could take out 38.31, it negates the triangle. Okay. But that's what it looks like to me right now. Possible long opportunity would be at 1865, 1122 in this area here. All right, good luck on that. But that would be a big breakdown, as you can see. That would break this top. It probably could go 10. It could probably go even lower than that. So that looks pretty bearish. All right, IRM, let's look at that. Iron Mountain. Oh, look at that. Yeah, definitely went parabolic. So right away, you don't have any divergence. So you never want to short that because one, you can't top tick a wave like that because it's going to need a 4 and a 5. And there's no way to know that where that's coming from. So when I see something like this with no divergence here at the extreme, I'm actually looking to buy it if it can pull back and not short it. Actually, that's the best trade. So this is something like a 1-2. But I wouldn't recommend shorting something like this because it could just keep extending. As you can see, it's got much more upside left. But the first wave 3 should be coming to an end soon. There at 114. So this wave 3 is probably over at any moment. And then you're going to start to get selling. But that selling is going to be bought, dipped. And you're going to get these 5s. And you're going to get another 3 and another 4. So it's going to have to play out, you know, for quite a while. You know, you're going to get, you know, it's got to top out. And then maybe, just maybe, when this pulls back in 5, we'll see like an A, B, C. And then when we break this low and get a bounce, then you can short that for C and get it. So I think, you know, I wouldn't short something like this, but you could do what's best for you. I think if you're lucky, you get this 4 and you could get in and out, but it's going to be pretty small dip. It'll be a very small pullback, more than likely. Bill looking for a possible bull try, all right? Yeah, with Iron Mountain, the way I would trade that would be wait for the dip. Wait for a big sell-off and then try to go long and buy the dip. Because you'll get a 5 out of that. You're almost guaranteed a 5. So it's almost like free money. Just take it. But you have to be patient and wait for that dip. But it'll happen because people will take profit. They won't just let it won't go up forever. All right, so 3 connector 3 and then you broke the low, so it probably doesn't look good. See, there's your low and you broke it. So that's okay. We'll just try to label it what we have here. And then you know, it's got to be maybe an impulse down of some kind. Let's see here. One, two, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, this is just like an impulse that's playing out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so it's just an impulse straight down. So we should be bouncing at any moment, and I think you're about to reset the cycle on the weekly time frame here. Well, not yet. You got a little bit of room. Let's look at the daily cycle. So we don't have confirmation yet, but it's probably getting close to the end of this fifth wave, my guess. One, two, three, four, five, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, 4. So 5 is done either here or it's going to extend a little bit more. So it's either done here or it's going to extend. We just don't know. We don't have confirmation, but it looks like it's ready to reverse. The chart looks like that. So we bounce, and then if this is a flat from this peak, and it very well could be, that could be a major low. So if this is a flat from this peak here, that could be a major low in whatever this Bill Holdings does. Now, that's what it looks like to me, because this only looks like 3 waves up. So, let's see here. 1, 2. 1, 2. So it's real messy here. 1, 2. And then yeah, you see the peak is here on the RSI. So I think we have to be careful. So I think it's kind of 50-50 if this is a major low or this will bounce and fail, but it should be a pretty good bounce coming to correct this whole move. So you can see the bounce. It could eventually get up to 145, 152 from here if you catch it right. So this does look like a bull try. This one looks like a good try for a long position to me. And again, I don't know what these guys do. What does Bill Holdings do? Cloud-based software. All right, so it's like a essay, what is this, software for a service type thing. So yeah, it's due for a bounce. It's due for a relief rally at least. Okay, WBA. Let's go to WBA, Edward. Let's go to that. Just like we have it. Look, it's just, I didn't even have to 4, 5, and we're almost there. But not yet. You've got to keep this divergence. Now, if you lose this peak, you lose this, then it's extending much lower. So this will become a 1, 2, and it'll just keep going. So it's a fallen knife right now still. But at some point it's about to end. But probably doesn't, not yet. I would be looking for more downside. All right. Let's see, Donald, Nvidia. So my take on Nvidia is, it again, it's really tough to trade there because they've done really well to hide it, mask its move technically. So I'm just trying to show you what I think. Okay, what it looks like to me is you have 3 waves up, but then you broke the high several times. When I see pattern like this, I always think of X wave, connector, sideways. Now, 1, 2, 3. So A, B, C, D, E. So maybe we drop to like 124, and then on earnings, like I said, you get this move higher, and then something goes wrong in a catastrophe. So I think this is what I think is going to happen. And then I wouldn't be surprised even if it dips down to 119 and then reverses right up. And then rug pulls, hits this buy area, and then comes back up and finally. So you guys got to be really it could do something just like I have here, where we don't break this all-time high, we drop, maybe during the trade-in hour, or on, and then we rip up, but we don't make the high, and then something goes terrible, boom. Then we buy it, and then in October, November, it rallies to new highs, and then you get the major cycle peak. So I think that's why I don't like trading it, but I know people want to do it. But this is what I'm thinking. You know, if you're really brave and you get a drop to 119 during the morning, during the afternoon, you try to play the long. I think you could try to play the long side. Now, here is just guessing. If this X is in this area, then I would definitely be thinking triangle for Y. I'd be thinking triangle. Okay, that's what I'd be thinking about. So good luck. It's going to be hard. So NVDL like mirrors that, right? Because that's a leverage. That's the leverage trade of Nvidia. So NVDL is just going to do that, the same thing, right? It's the same idea, right? We had to buy here, and then we bounced, and now you're in this connector. So again, I look at this, and I just see something like this. That's what I'm seeing. But I don't think this connector's finished. That's what I think. That's why I wouldn't be surprised to see, you know, sometimes it's like, oh, you know, they drop earnings and it sells off, and then the conference call, they pump it. Oh, they say, you know, I think it's going to be like that. Like, I think everyone is going to get destroyed in this. I think every side of the market, unless you're so nimble and you could just, okay, I got puts, boom, I closed the puts. Okay, I got calls, I closed the calls, and then, oh no, I got too greedy, damn it, and then this comes into play and I lose it all again. So like, you're not going to be able to just like comfortably hold. I think the only way you're going to make it through this situation is playing both sides of the market, long and short straddle, and you're going to have to close the positions and take what you can get. If you're trying to like just go one direction and I'm just going to hold it, you're going to probably end up with nothing. Both sides. Whether you play both sides. That's what's probably going to happen tomorrow. That's what I'm seeing here. And again, this is just, there's no rule. There's just me looking at these charts. So I could be completely wrong, but I'm just giving you my opinion on what I see. Ultimately, I don't recommend trading it, but I know people will want to do it. So I'm just giving you my thoughts on it. All right. Tesla broke down just like we said it would, right? It was selling off today. Shocker, right? I mean, no surprise, right? It did exactly what we said it would do. It's just gonna, and it's just keep grinding lower, guys. I mean, it's just gonna keep grinding lower. Looks like here you've got some bullish divergence. So watch that fifth wave pump in Tesla. You got to watch this fifth wave pump here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you get a little pump again. Okay, so be careful. Be careful there. Like you get something like this. It could even come back up to 222 even, right between the 4 and the 2 here. So just be careful for that. So I would almost anticipate that. Almost anticipate something like this. Okay. All right. Jose XLE. Yeah, energy is a nail biter. It's a nail biter because we're getting a little too close for comfort. So I did make a mention that, you know, this was important and we took it out. So you see how we took this out? So that's pretty big deal unless we erase divergence. And what do you know? We erase divergence. So there's still a chance. That's why I still don't want to react to that break, because this could be just an ugly three-wave move. But I think if you come back above and take this out again, 92.10, or more importantly, 94.20, the bear case is negated in the XLE, and we're going to go into wave 3 of the grand supercycle in energy, which makes sense if the market's about to go into another bear market, because the first bear market we saw in 22, energy was in wave 3 off the lows, and that whole year energy outperformed. We may be about to see that same setup And that's the stagflation setup, guys. That's the 1970 trade coming out. So, but I wouldn't call it a victory. Yeah, I wouldn't get. So let's just leave it like that. I think you have to be careful shorting it, given what we're seeing. But this is the area. This is the real important area here. But technically, that could still be 2 there. We'll just have to wait and see. All right, CHONON. Okay, on. And we don't have that one. On holding. All right. So starting to raise some divergence. So it looks like we're definitely coming off this low. Not enough chart data to do a proper RSI analysis here. But I'm just going to have to label it how I see it. I mean, I only see 3 here. I see 3 there. I see 3 there. So it looks like this is moving in 3, very corrective instrument. See, even that is in 3 here. There. There. And then another connector. So now let's try to put this all together and see if we can put this together into get a picture of what's going on here. W. All right. Well, actually, negate that. W, and then some kind of X wave. Y. So put the X here. We'll have to be in some kind of Y here. So yeah, looks like we've got one more move higher. Should move in 3. Like that. And then that should do it. We should be breaking this high. And then we do it all over again. We do this all over again. How high can it go? It's really tough to say. I mean, it could go all the way up to $65, $73, somewhere in this area. Even higher, potentially. Yeah, so that's how I look at this count. But it's obviously it's coming to the end of the cycle, the end of this big 3-wave advance, and then it'll have a big pullback, similar to what we saw here. Okay, so it's coming to the end, but it's not over. It looks like it's still got more upside coming. All right, shop. Shop was one I wanted to avoid. I didn't like the structure of the wave. The shape of the wave concerned me coming off the low. So we'll see if we can find it here. So coming off this low, we only have 3 waves. It's not 5. Clearly, so it's corrective. So we came down in 5, or I'm sorry, 3. So we're up in 3, and this was the short area. This is where it's finding sellers. So this area is finding sellers. This is the area where it could turn lower for Y. Okay, so I don't like buying it until we take this high out at 92.40. Until it could take out that high at 92.40, I wouldn't touch it, because if this is corrective, this could turn into a lot of things. This could actually be a 1, 2, let's see here. So we did erase divergence there. Yeah, so maybe better way to label it, we'll just kind of label it like this. No, you know what? I'm going back to the way I had it. Never mind. Label it like that. So 1, 2, 3 connector, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, let me just, that would be better. We'll do it like that. All right, so that's the play. That's the play. I would say I would reverse and change my opinion if we could take this high out. The reason I don't label it bullish is because it's only off of 3 waves. So that's the reason. That's the reason. But we'll have to wait and see. So this is in kind of no man's land. This is in no man's land. Just kind of, to me, it's kind of like, just I have to ignore it for now. Thanks for the, good luck on the move. Appreciate that. Mutant Ape, TON, and both cryptos, okay? Let's see here, TON. TON is a crypto. There it is. All right, not a lot of data. If there's a different exchange, let me know. If this is all the data we have, you're not going to really get a good view at this, other than you're trading off that low. And really, you came up, and this would be some kind of flat correction off this peak here. That would be the only way to label it, as long as you're above 433. You would have to label a flat of some kind. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then as long as that low holds. So that's how that looks, and you could put in the chat if that's the right exchange. Matic, yeah, we were talking about Matic before, I think. Matic was in this connector here. Connector could be done with the rest of crypto, ready for that next move lower. So yeah, so this connector is probably finished. If it could take this high out again, if it could come back and take this peak out, then the low's in, and this will be a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and this would be a major low. But it's not my what I'm thinking. I'm thinking it's got another swing down to go, which is just starting its journey lower. Okay, appreciate it. So let's look at a couple questions. Yeah, this natural gas, guys, is not something I recommend trading, because if oil is going to do what I think it's going to do, natural gas is going to be wiped out. If this plays out, natural gas is going to be maybe even under $1. Okay, I'm just telling you, that's what's going to happen. Now, if this is negated because we're going to get this stagflation, commodity pump, Powell lost control already and it's 1970s, here we come, then yeah, natural gas is going to go to the moon. But we don't have confirmation of that. So to me, natural gas is bearish until oil confirms a major reversal, or the energy market, which we don't have neither of. Okay. Hollow broke that major low I talked about yesterday, so I don't recommend trading it. It's probably going to go all the way back down. SMCI was playing out just like our chart had it. Again, we didn't know about an accounting scandal, right? We just have our chart, right? All we can do is have our chart. We had this 4-wave, and look, accounting scandal, but we're not ready to buy it. I like to buy it at 415. So, not yet. But that's what it's doing, just like we expected. Palantir should be peaking in a 5. Yeah, just leaving temporarily. Amazon did what just like I said happened last night. I said it was going to turn down. It's turning down. Looking for a buy in Amazon at 132. That's what I'm looking for. If we could take this high out, then we're looking at retesting the all-time high here. But the further away we go, the less likely that's going to happen. Meta should be taking another swing down. Yeah, appreciate it, guys. Yeah, not too many haters. Let's go to GME and AMC because everybody likes that update. GME and AMC, like I said, GME is did get to trying to you know, really get these people out. So this was normally the area will bounce. So we went through it. So what that means sometimes when you go through an area like that is we do bounce technically, but then the bounce fails. So we have to keep an eye on that. So you gotta be careful on that setup. But as you can see, it's very oversold. So you know, it's not going to just go to, you know, -10, right? It's gonna it's so oversold, but the market itself is so overbought. So it's really interesting to see, are we going to see like the meme stocks rip while the rest of the indices sell off and like this counter, you know, because it's just kind of a weird situation because the indices are so overbought, but yet the meme stocks are so oversold. So it's very, very confusing, but we just have to trade the chart. AMC still holding up here. It held up well for most of the day until the very end. What's interesting in AMC, I want to point out. So we call this like triangle connector here. We have this W, and then we have this X, and this triangle that may have finished, or could maybe it's finishing even here. But I went back to the original pump of AMC. I said, have we ever seen that kind of triangle before? And sure enough, to my surprise, we've seen the same exact thing. And look what happened right at the end of the triangle. Holy shit, look at that. So I'm just saying, I'm not trying to get, you know, everyone's hopes up, but that's a very interesting technical thing because here you had the W. It's the same setup, just a different A, B, C, D, E, moon. And here we are kind of sitting in kind of the same technical position, just you know, just like a different fractal of the same, it's like an analog of the same thing. W, X, A, B, C, D, E. Are we going to see the same move? I just wonder. It makes me kind of curious when I see that. It was very interesting. If we look back, if one day we're trading at 35, we'll look back at that was a dead giveaway, and we should have mortgaged our house and bought it, right? So we just and of course I'm not recommending doing that. I'm just saying this seems really interesting structure compared to the pump in 2021. Very similar analog and fractal. So we'll have to see. Will it play out? Is it that easy? I don't think so, but maybe it is. Maybe it's that easy. All right. I don't know. I think it's going to have to trade outside the market. Like, you're just going to have to trade, believe in the chart. You have to believe in the chart, and the market's going to do its thing, and AMC and GME will do its thing. Maybe it will pump with commodities. Maybe it's part of the basket of, you know, stagflation. Because I mean, AMC and GME weren't around in 1970. Neither was Bitcoin. We don't know how these things are going to trade in a 1970 environment. If that's what we're coming into the next 3 to 4 years, is a 1970 style trading environment, we don't know how some of these are going to perform. We don't know because they weren't around back then. There was no such thing as a meme stock in the 70s. There was no such thing as Bitcoin in the 70s. So we don't know how those things are going to perform. We just can only guess. We know how gold and silver and oil performed, and commodities, and you know, some cyclical, not all, but we know. And we know how growth in tech performs. So who knows? Okay, who knows? DJT, keep an eye on that, guys. Trump did agree to the debate. This would be perfect to buy before the debate. Look, this looks like it's bottoming out right on September 9th. Isn't the debate September 10th? What this chart is predicting is Trump is going to destroy Harris in the debate. That's what this is predicting. And then everyone's going to be like, holy shit, he's going to win. So I think keep an eye on DJT. If we're going to sell off into the debate, this could be very good it's very totally speculative, totally gambling, lotto type situation. But hell, you got to sometimes go to Vegas, you got to play, you got to play the slots. So this is something to keep an eye on before the debate, now that he's agreed to do it, because it seems like it's set up for wave three. All right, and it isn't when I think this pumped last time when he destroyed Biden in the debate, or Biden destroyed himself. So I think just keep an eye on DJT. DJT may be showing Trump may have a really good night on that debate, better than we all can imagine. Because look, it just coincidentally ends right around September 9th, 10th. All right, I got another super chat. AGQ. All right, let's look at AGQ. And that's a new one for us. Oh, ultra silver. All right. So silver's in some kind of wave 5. So you're hoping we probably can get one more high out of this thing. Ultra silver, it's hard to trade these leverage funds because they always get destroyed here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it was only 5 down. So your impulse ended here. So now you're bouncing. So you probably have at least one more high coming, right, in the ultra fund. Let's do it like this. Let's just do a very conservative view on the ultra fund here, like something like so this is my guess. This is what I think is going to happen. Okay. Something like that, maybe. Something like that. Or it's going to make this fifth wave erase divergence, and then it's going to do something like this. So one or the other, okay? I do believe we'll be taking this high out. But this is the conservative look. Something like that. But the best way to play the ultra fund is time it when silver hits $35 with bearish divergence in multiple time frames. It's game over, no matter wherever this is trading, just to give you an idea. Now, if silver can moon past 35 and erase divergence, and then it's going to go vertical, then this will go vertical as well. So we just don't know. Again, it's hard to predict the future, but I do think it seems like it's going to go higher. XRP, how's that doing with this crypto dump here? Looks like we are still in this X wave, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it changed the nature of the wave to an ABC. Yeah. So I would still, as long as you're above 54 cents, it's valid count that I have here. And we just don't know yet. Yeah, it's just almost there. It may be it. So if we break this low, then this X wave is like that, is something like this, more sideways, and it would just be just like a 3-wave move. Like it'll just be like a more sideways correction, but I still ultimately like it here in the future, no matter what happens here. So I'm just kind of giving you my thoughts on it. Even if it does break down, it's just going to consolidate in this area, and I do expect in the future it will be well up in this area or higher. Okay, it's inevitable. This pattern is going to break bullish. It's just trying to get people to leave their positions and give up your crypto to somebody else, and that's what it's trying to do here. So I'm just showing you what I think could happen, but I can be wrong. So do what's best for you. All right, Caleb, let's see, SCHD. Schwab. All right. What is going on with this one? So we, let's see here. Had that, the B. So this B looks like it's been a while since we revisited this. So what it looks like to me is the B is extended up, but we need to check it out to see if it's gone too high. So that's a full cycle right there, 1, 2. There's another cycle right here. And then this is done. So I wouldn't put the 3 there. I would put another 1, 2, and out. So it looks like to me it's a pullback to like with the rest of the market. It looks like it's in a fifth wave right here. See that? So this is definitely something you want to buy later, because I don't think you've seen the real wave 3 in this. You see? The only or we have, and this is just a massive extended fifth wave, which would be a really bearish, right? That would mean this would crash all the way back down to $28. So I just don't think that's realistic, but I think this is the best way to play that. So we are seeing that pullback coming, and then it should be buyable here. U.S. Dividend Equity ETF. So not sure why it's going to be so strong in the future, or this is not labeled right, and it is. And again, I could easily. I'm only showing this label account because we don't have peak RSI. But if I did this, right, I can easily do this, right, and then you'll have a catastrophe. So. But either way, as you can see, sell-in's coming. So we'll know by the intensity of the first move down. If the first move down only gets us to like 78, 77, it's what I had before. But if the first move down gets us down to 65, 62, then this is in play. So I think that's kind of what we would need to wait and see. But either way, it looks like a major pullback's due at any moment. So I'll just leave it labeled like this for now. That's all I can see in here. That's the only way I could chart this right now, is like this. All right, good luck. Need a buy area. The buy area doesn't exist because there's no pullback yet. So once you get a pullback, then you look for 3 waves, and then that forms your buy area, right? Then you can buy, so you don't even have a pullback. So based on my system, there's no buy here. There is no buy area. The buy area, like I said, the buy area could either be at 71.99 or worst case at 56.52. So we don't know. The degree of this correction is unknown. I'm speculating based on the RSI that it's more bullish setup, but I can easily be wrong, and it's just a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and it pulls back way deeper than we think. But it does seem likely that a pullback is coming. All right, I'm going to wrap it up tonight, guys. Appreciate all the super chats, and really big day tomorrow trading. We'll have to wait and see what happens with Nvidia after hours. I think until those earnings drop, the market is not going to really move that much. And then I do think the market, like I said, I think the market's set up for a lot of volatility to emerge. But I think both sides of the market will probably get it up, down. I don't think it's just going to go straight up. I don't think it's just going to go straight down. I think it's going to be boom, boom. Or the opposite, down and up. So I think it's going to be like one of those types of days.